Good morning, dear readers who are leaders, people at Sierra and other places. Welcome back. I am coming to you from the nonfiction section of the Sierra Library. I was going to be filming in my home, in my backyard where I film a lot, but it got a little bit late and I had to get the kids to school. So I wanted to come back to you and tell you that I finished that intriguing book, Damage, that I had started, and it did stay in second person the entire time. And it's possible that it could fit the requirement of reading about a hero from the 8th grade ELA classes. The only thing that it's more of a hero like that, like in the way that someone overcomes something. The main character, the reason why it popped up in the catalog is because he was a football hero, which is important. It's a different kind of hero. But he overcame something in his life, and that's depression. So it turned out to be a really great book. So it's back in the library. I'm going to check it in, and it will be available. So if you would like to read Damage, which I would recommend it was super interesting. Definitely a middle school book. This would not be an elementary book for content. Typically, I would, send me an email or come by at lunch to check this book out. I would like to introduce you to another book that I think I got this past year. Oh, I know where I got it. I got it from First Book, and it's called Ban This Book, and it's by Alan Gratz. And I read this one over the summer, and I thought it was really fantastic. And you're probably wondering, well, what does ban this book mean? Why should I ban this book? And it's actually not saying to do that. You'll find out when you read the whole entire story. But you may not even know what it means to ban a book. We have celebrated at Sierra in the past Ban Books Week, which to ban a book means that somebody finds something personally objectionable to a book or thinks that somebody else shouldn't read it, instead of them not reading it themselves or saying to their children, you shouldn't read this book for XYZ reason. They try to get it removed off the shelf of the library, and then nobody can read the book. And so it's something that librarians, generally speaking, if I can stereotype librarians, I would say that most come out against that and would fight to keep the books that they have on their shelves, and really advocate for parents reading the book or previewing the books before their students read them, and making that decision together, or reading a book with their children and explaining parts that may be challenging depending on the content. So I'm going to read from some of this, Ban This Book, and I just loved it. Super good. Okay, here it goes. The first chapter is called The Mystery of the Missing Book. It all started the day my favorite book went missing from the library. I didn't know it was missing, not yet. In my mind, it was still sitting there all alone on the shelf like a kid in the cafeteria waiting for her one and only friend to come and find her. Waiting for me to find her. All I wanted to do was run to the library and check out my favorite book before homeroom. But Rebecca, my one and only real-life friend, was still talking about trademarking our names. Have you ever thought about registering amyannolonger.com? Rebecca asked me. No, Rebecca, I have never thought about registering amyannolonger.com. I am a 9-year-old. Why in the world would I bother to register a website with my name on it when my parents won't even let me use Facebook yet? That's what I thought about saying. What I said instead was, no. You should, Rebecca told me. You've got a unique name, but even so, somebody could register it, and then what would you do? RebeccaZimmerman.com is already gone. I'm 10 years old, and already my future intellectual property is being snapped up. Jay-Z and Beyonce trademarked their babies' names less than a month after she was born. You'd think my parents would have known enough to do the same. Rebecca's parents were both lawyers, and she wanted to be one too when she grew up. I couldn't imagine a more boring job. Instead, I said, yeah. I was still itching to get to the library and check out my favorite book. I opened my locker to stuff my backpack inside and gave my mailbox a quick look. Nobody knows how it got started, but everybody at Shelbourne Elementary has these cardboard boxes taped to the inside door of their lockers. Just below the little vents, they put on there in case you get stuffed in your locker by a bully. If you want to leave a note for somebody, you just slip the piece of paper in the slot and it falls right into the little cardboard box. It's such a tradition that Mr. Crutchfield, the custodian, just leaves the boxes in the lockers from year to year. As usual, my mailbox was empty, which I'd expected. My one and only friend doesn't believe in writing notes. Never leave a paper trail, Rebecca said. More advice from her lawyer parents. Did you hear about Morgan Freeman, the actor? Rebecca asked. Somebody who wasn't Morgan Freeman registered his name at morganfreeman.com and he had to sue them to get it back. Now that's an interesting case. I can't imagine anything less interesting, Rebecca. I don't care anything about trademarks or registering domain names. I have to go check out my favorite book before somebody else does. That's what I wanted to tell her. Instead, I held up a handful of books like a shield and said, I have to return these books to the library before class, and backed away before she could tell me more about the court case. I'll see you in homeroom, I called. Normally, I would already have my favorite book checked out in my backpack, but our librarian, Mrs. Jones, has a rule that you can only renew a book 2 times in a row, and then it has to sit on the shelf for 5 whole school days before you can check it out again. She says it's to make sure other people get a chance to read it, but I think she made up that rule just to make me read other books, which I would have done anyway. I dumped last night's books in the book return and waved good morning to Mrs. Jones on the way to the fiction shelves. Amy Ann, Mrs. Jones called. Honey, wait. Just let me grab my book, I called. I turned into the HN shelves and hurried to where I knew my favorite book would be waiting for me. Only, it wasn't there. I looked again. And it still wasn't there. And I looked behind the books in case it had gotten pushed back and was hidden behind the others like they sometimes do, but no, it really wasn't there. But my favorite book was always on this shelf. Could somebody else really have checked it out? I was about to go ask Mrs. Jones when she turned down the row. Mrs. Jones is a big white lady with short brown hair and rhinestone granny glasses that hang around her neck on a chain when she isn't reading. Today she was wearing a red dress with white polka dots. Polka dots are her thing. Where's my book? I asked her. That's what I was trying to tell you, honey, Mrs. Jones said. I knew you'd be come in for it first thing. It's been 5 days, I told her. I marked it down on my calendar. I get to check it out again after 5 days. You said so. Did somebody else check it out? No, Amy Ann. I had to take it off the shelf. I frowned. Take it off the shelf? What does she mean? Take it off the shelf? Why? Mrs. Jones sighed and wrung her hands. She looked like she was about to tell me my dogs had died. Because some parents got together and said they didn't think it was appropriate for elementary school, and the school board agreed with them. Wasn't appropriate? What does that mean? It means I can't check it out to you, honey, or to anybody else. Not until I talk to the school board and this nonsense gets overturned. It means, Amy Ann, that your favorite book was banned from the school library. The end of chapter 1. And maybe I will read chapter 2 at a later time. So I hope you look forward to that.